Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us for SUNUP. Welcome rains across much of Oklahoma this week arrived just in time to benefit the state's wheat and canola crops. SUNUP's Dave Deacon earlier in the week caught up with our Extension Cropping System Specialist Josh Lofton to see how canola is doing.
We're well into the canola growing season, and Josh, how are things looking across Oklahoma?
Well, as you can see behind me, things are progressing very quickly in this crop. Throughout much of the state, we're probably getting really close to that flowering stage, especially down in the southwest, the southern part of the state, on in through the Stillwater area. Once you get up close to Kansas, we might have quite a few fields that are not quite there yet, but probably by the end of this week, probably majority of the state will be flowering.
And this is the time of year that a lot of the crops get a lot of their moisture.
Yeah, this is really one of the most critical times for moisture for the canola crop. For most of our crops, wheat included, it has partly to do with the lack of moisture we have around the state. Also, growers might be seeing a lot of purple leaves. Out across their field. This purpling of the leaf, it's a chemical that the plant produces to say, hey, I'm stressed. We kind of are going back and forth on whether this is moisture stressed, overly heat stressed, or if some of our insects such as our aphids and our worms have been causing a lot of the stress. So overall, the crop looks okay. If we get good moisture and we stay relatively cool and warm up gradually, this crop is going to branch out and it's going to continue to flower, and our yields might not be hit to a vast degree. If we don't get a lot of moisture, if we don't get moisture in the inches, not the tenths of an inches, this crop could start going back the opposite way quite a bit.
And producers need to be in the field looking for insects right now.
Yeah, we have a lot of insects kind of going out and going around. Our worms are probably going to be hit and miss with big flights coming in and the changing weather patterns. We do have a lot of diamondback moths out there, the diamondback moth larvae. Growers need to be checking for that. You can really tell it by the leaf. Start checking for aphids. As of right now, we can't do a whole lot with the aphids because we have to wait for the flower to go away. Our label for a lot of our aphids, specifically transform, is after flowering. So we can't put it out before, but we can start checking and see which fields need to be hit. The other thing we have to talk about is I mean, we can see we're standing here. This was actually a fairly decent stand coming out of or going into the winter. We've had a substantial amount of winter kill, but this looks very similar to what growers are seeing around the state. The big thing is a lot of growers want to go out and put herbicides out because they still want to control those problematic grasses for the wheat crop the next, and those weeds popping up. Check your labels. Glyphosate, once we got into flower and once we got into that bolting, glyphosate's no longer on labels.
And you will actually have an opportunity to speak with growers across the state over the next week or a couple weeks or so.
Yeah, in just over 3 weeks from today, we're going to start our winter canola spring tours. We're going to start down in the southwest part of the state. Down in Harmon County is going to be our first one, and then we're going to start working our way up north, and we're gonna go from the 17th of April all the way through the Friday of that week, and the Friday of that week we'll be up kind of towards our Kansas locations. OSU faculty, Great Plains Canola, and various members of Oklahoma Oilseed will be there to kind of discuss some of our topics, you know, what we can do with this crop going forward and what we need to start planning for our next crop. 17th of April is going to be when we start. Each stop's going to be about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay, thank you much, Josh.
Thank you.
And for more information, go to our website, sunup.okstate.edu.